Once saved, always saved. Years ago, when I first started getting involved with the church, I was attending a church which did not agree with the P in the tulip acrostic, and that summarizes the 5 points of Calvinism. Tulip. The P stands for Perseverance of the Saints, which is sometimes called eternal security. As a matter of fact, this denomination I was involved with was uneasy about Baptists because they, the Baptists, do believe in eternal security. It wasn't merely a minor theological difference of opinion, the big endian versus the little endian, kind of a disagreement, but a pernicious doctrine which imperiled the eternal soul of the Baptist. After all, if something came along, a little trial and tribulation, say, the Baptist believer could severely backslide. They could use their belief in eternal security as a license to sin. I've got my fire insurance, so now I can live however I want. Once saved, always saved. So the idea is, times are tough. You're a fair weather kind of follower of Christ, so you're not really going to follow him, but it's okay because you've said the sinner's prayer. So that gives you, again, a blank check, a license to sin. Well, now that I'm older and hopefully wiser, I can see that this is not the view of the Baptist or the Calvinist. And they're different. Baptists are not Calvinists. Some Calvinists, there is a Reformed Baptist denomination, or perhaps multiple denominations, but a Baptist, just by being a Baptist, is not necessarily going to be a Calvinist. But Calvinists, like Baptists, do believe in eternal security. On the other hand, I see now that the Arminian view, which denies eternal security, is actually the dangerous position. At least it can be very dangerous. For there is no assurance of salvation if we are always wondering, did I pass the point of no return? As a young, impressionable teenager struggling with doubt and mental illness, I was always asking that sort of question. Plus the leadership in my church, not the denomination in general that I was involved with, but one particular pastor was very harsh, always preaching sermons about hell, fire and brimstone, sin, always doing that kind of thing. So I was always wondering, did I apostatize? Did I lose faith? Did I lose salvation? So I was always asking the question, am I still a Christian? So it came to pass that I started reflecting on the doctrine of eternal security. And while I'm still no Calvinist, I have come over to at least the fifth point, perseverance of the saints. As new atheists are constantly reminding us, though, it is no good to just accept whatever on blind faith. No, there should be reasons why we believe what we believe. I thought it may be helpful to you if you are a Christian who happens to lack assurance of your salvation, if I shared with you what I discovered about eternal security. There are at least two good reasons to accept eternal security as true doctrine. And these are the logical reason and the scriptural reason. So logic and scripture both point to this fact that eternal security is itself a fact. Let's look at each of those in turn. First, the logical. So here's an argument I'm going to give for eternal security. Premise 1, when a person gets saved, they are saved from something. Premise 2, one of the things a new Christian is saved from is going to hell when they die. Premise 3, if a person gets saved, then they will not go to hell when they die. Premise 4, if a person gets saved at one point in time and then later loses that salvation, they will go to hell when they die. Premise 5, if eternal security is false, it is possible for a person delivered from hell to be not delivered from hell. And the conclusion 6:5 is self-contradictory, so eternal security must be true. So when you first get saved, you're delivered from hell. If you later lose your salvation, you, the delivered from hell person, is not delivered from hell, which is self-contradictory. You can't be delivered from hell and not delivered from hell at the same time and in the same respect. That violates the law of non-contradiction. Once a person is genuinely saved, then, it is logically impossible for them to lose that salvation, based on that argument I just gave. Once saved, always saved, which was to be shown. I think this is a good argument. All the premises are true, it seems. They seem pretty clear, pretty uncontroversial from the Orthodox Christian perspective. So I think further that it is entirely valid. This argument is an entirely valid reductio, a reduction to absurdity. So it's valid, the premises are true, it's a sound argument, it's a good argument, the argument goes through. Eternal security is a fact. But there is biblical merit to the eternal security question, as I've said before, and let's turn our attention now to that. In the Bible, there are certain passages which seem to teach in favor of eternal security, and certain other passages which seem to count against it. What is the expositor or the exegete to do? The basic hermeneutical principle which should be employed here is that all relevant passages on both sides of the question, those which are for, those which are against, should be taken together, which appear to be for and appear to be against, should be taken together, and hopefully a clear victor shall emerge, either with eternal security or against eternal security. So a good case can plausibly be made for what might be called probationism. That is a denial of eternal security. But I would say the weight of the data clearly favors eternal security, even if by a margin smaller than I would like to find in the pages of the Bible. As I see it then, here is the situation. There are multiple passages which clearly teach eternal security. There are other passages which appear to imply, that probationism might possibly be true. So we should take the clear passages, those in favor of eternal security, over the less than totally or completely clear passages. The first passage which comes to mind in favor of eternal security is the one where Jesus is speaking about his sheep. He says that no man can snatch them out of his hand. Notice it says no man. It doesn't say anything about the devils here, for example, at least not explicitly. Is the individual Christian a man, or more inclusively a human? Of course. So the no man extends to we ourselves. Notice there is no qualification. Jesus did not say, no man can snatch my sheep out of my hand, with the important exception of the individual Christians themselves. That's not what Jesus said here. The next passage I want to consider is the one which reads, he who began a good work in you will be faithful to complete it. Note again, there is no qualification. He who began a good work in you will be faithful to complete it, unless, of course, you apostatize by falling away from the faith. No, he will complete it, we are told. All right, and we'll pick it up there in video number 2. Thank you.